My dear child, there is something I have been saving for this exact moment. A truth so full of light that if you had received it any earlier, the timing would have diminished its impact. There are things I hold back, not out of distance, but out of love. Not out of indifference, but out of precision, because I know the exact moment when a word will do its deepest work in a human heart, and that moment is not always when you think you are ready. It is when I know you are ready. And that moment is now. What I am about to unfold for you is the full picture of what you mean to me, and I need you to receive it, not as a general religious statement, but as a specific, personal, direct declaration from the one who made you. I am not speaking to the room. I am not broadcasting toward a crowd. I am speaking directly to you, into the private interior of your life, the part that other people do not have access to, the part that you yourself sometimes struggle to look at honestly. I see every room in that interior. I know every corridor, every door you have left closed, every window where light has tried to come in, and where you have sometimes pulled the curtain shut because the brightness of hope felt too risky after disappointment. I have been standing outside those windows. I have been waiting with patience that outlasts your resistance, and what I have waited to tell you is this: you are valued. Not in a passing, peripheral, contingent way. You are valued in the way that I, the one who holds all things in existence, value you. Which means what you are worth to me is beyond any calculation you could perform. This is where everything begins, not with your performance, not with your history, not with the impressive things you have done or the things you are ashamed of, not with how consistently you have walked with me or how many times you have wandered away. It begins here with the bedrock of what you are worth to the one who made you, and that worth is not a fluctuating number that rises and falls with your behavior. It is a fixed, immovable, eternally settled reality that existed before you took your first breath and will exist long after your last. Come into this with me. Let me show you what it looked like from the beginning. Before you arrived in this world, before anyone had the chance to tell you who you were supposed to be, or how you were supposed to look, or what you were supposed to accomplish in order to deserve love, there was a moment in which I knew you completely and loved you completely. Not a potential version of you, not a cleaned up, improved version of you. You, the full, complicated, specific, unrepeatable person I was about to send into the world. And in that moment of complete knowing, my response was not reservation. My response was not conditional acceptance with a list of requirements attached. My response was love, total, fierce, unalterable. The kind of love that does not come with an exit clause, that does not contain a mechanism for withdrawal under sufficiently disappointing circumstances, that does not depend on what you do next. You have lived most of your life not fully knowing this. You have felt it in moments, in flashes, in those rare instants when something cracked open in your chest and you felt, just briefly, that you were truly known and truly loved at the same time. But then, the moment would pass and the familiar uncertainty would return. The question that lives at the bottom of most human hearts: am I actually enough? Am I actually worth loving? Is there something fundamentally deficient in me that the love I receive is always provisional, always with invisible strings attached, always vulnerable to being withdrawn if I do not maintain the performance that earns it? I want to answer that question today with the full weight of who I am behind the answer. And the answer is no. There is nothing fundamentally deficient in you. There is nothing about the specific person you are, in all your complexity and inconsistency and imperfection that places you outside the full reach of my love. You are not a special case that requires modified terms. You are not the exception to the rule of my goodness. You are the reason the rule was written in the first place. Let me speak now about what I see when I look at you, because there is a profound gap between what you see when you look at yourself and what I see when I look at you, and I want to close that gap today, not by improving your self-image as an exercise in positive thinking, but by showing you the actual reality of who you are as I made you. When you look at yourself, you tend to see your lacks first, the ways you have fallen short, the habits you have tried to change and have not yet succeeded in changing, the relationships where you have failed to be who you wanted to be, the promises you made to yourself in moments of clarity and then could not keep, the gap between the person you sense you could be and the person you have actually shown up as in your daily life. You see the distance between aspiration and reality, and it can be a discouraging distance. And the particular cruelty of that self-assessment is that it tends to be most harsh precisely in the areas where you have tried the hardest and fallen the most often, which means your failures accumulate in the places that matter most to you, and the accumulation creates a narrative of inadequacy that feels like truth because it is built from real events. When I look at you, I see something else entirely as the primary reality. I see a person I made with extraordinary intentionality and care. I see a unique combination of gifts and perceptions and capacities that exists nowhere else in all of creation. The specific texture of your compassion, the way you carry the weight of other people's pain in a way that not everyone does, the particular quality of your attention when something matters to you. I see the depth that lives inside you, often unexpressed, often unacknowledged by you yourself, but visible to me in its full richness. I see the tenderness at your core, the tenderness you sometimes feel you must protect and guard, because the world has not always handled it carefully when you allowed it to be visible. I see the specific quality of love you are capable of, the kind that goes deep and stays long and does not abandon what it has committed itself to. I see what you were built for, and I see you moving toward it, even when the movement is slow, even when you take steps sideways or backward before finding forward again. What I see is not a disappointing draft of a person who should have done better by now. What I see is a person in the process of becoming exactly who they were made to be, and that process is not running behind schedule. It is unfolding according to my timing, which is the most reliable timing there is. I want to stay with you in this for a while because I know how quickly the mind reaches for the objection, how quickly the thought arises, but you do not know what I have done, what I have thought, how far I have wandered from what I know is right, and so let me address that directly, with no detour around the hard part. You are right that I know everything, every choice that makes you cringe when you remember it, every moment of selfishness or cruelty or cowardice that you would rather have edited out of your story, every time you chose your comfort over someone else's need, your pride over someone else's dignity, your fear over what you knew was the right thing to do. Every harsh word spoken in a moment of exhaustion that you wish you could retrieve, every time the better version of yourself was available and you chose the easier version instead. Every time you were unkind to your own soul, beating yourself down in ways that I never do and never have. I know all of it. I knew it before you did it. I saw each of those moments not from the outside, from a safe distance of divine observation, but from the inside, from the place of loving you so much that your choices matter to me as if they were my own. And here is the truth that I need you to carry out of this conversation, the truth about which there must be no confusion in the deepest part of you. Knowing all of it, I love you still. Not despite it, as if my love were a force powerful enough to overcome a defect. I love you through it, the way a river does not stop being a river because it passes through difficult terrain. The knowledge of your full humanity, in all its inconsistency and failure alongside its beauty and generosity and courage, is not a barrier to my love. It is the context in which my love operates. You are not loved in spite of being fully known. You are loved precisely in the fullness of being known. I want to go deeper here, into the specific quality of this love, because I think you have sometimes accepted a version of my love that is accurate in its basic facts, but limited in its felt reality. And I want you to feel this today, not just know it in the abstract. The love I have for you is not the love of a manager for a good employee, though it is more personal and more invested. It is not the love of a teacher for a student who shows promise, though it is more committed and more patient. It is not even the love of a parent, though it resembles that more than anything else available in human experience. What I feel for you is original. It preceded all those other loves and gave rise to them. When a parent loves their child with the kind of love that has no condition attached, that endures every season of the child's life with its disappointments and its joys and its ordinary, unremarkable days, that cannot be extinguished by anything the child does or fails to do, that love is an echo of mine, a real echo, a meaningful and beautiful echo, but an echo nonetheless. The original is what you are held in, not an echo, but the source. Not a partial expression, but the fullness from which all other expressions of love were drawn. When you pray, you are not approaching a being who reviews your recent record before deciding how much attention to give you. You are approaching a Father who has loved you from before time and who welcomes your coming with something that looks, from where I stand, like joy. The fact that you have come, the fact that you are here, the fact that in the middle of everything in your life, you turn toward me. This is not a minimum performance requirement being met. It is a child running toward a parent, and the parent who runs to meet you is me. Now let me speak to something that I see in you in this particular season. I have been watching you navigate a time that has been harder than you have let most people see. You have carried a kind of weight that does not announce itself loudly, that does not make you appear to be struggling on the outside, but that you feel in the quiet moments, in the early hours before the day begins to fill with its demands, in the moments between tasks when the busyness falls away and you are left with what is actually going on underneath the surface of your life. I know what you have been carrying, the gap between where you are and where you sense you should be. The unanswered questions about directions you cannot yet see clearly, the relationships that have required more than they have given in this season, the sense that certain things you have trusted me for have been waiting longer than you had expected, and the subtle erosion of confidence that can happen in the waiting, the quiet wondering of whether you misunderstood what I was saying to you, whether the expectation was your own projection rather than a genuine word from me. I know about the days when you got up and did the necessary things and did not feel anything particularly spiritual about doing them, but you did them anyway because you are committed even when you are not feeling it. And I want to tell you that those days count, every single one of them. The faithfulness of getting up and continuing on without the felt confirmation of my presence and without the visible evidence of things moving in the right direction. That faithfulness is one of the most significant things you have offered me in this season. I want to address the erosion directly, because I know it has been working in the background of your life. doing its quiet damage in the places where your confidence in me has been most tender. There is something I was doing while you were waiting, not nothing, not absence, not the passive allowing of time to pass, something active, precise, carefully executed, something that required the particular length of this particular wait. When I tell you that my timing is perfect, I am not offering you a coping mechanism for disappointment. I am telling you an operational fact about how I work in the lives of the people I love. The delay was not rejection. The silence was not withdrawal. The period of waiting that has tested your patience and your trust has been the very time during which I have been doing my most significant preparatory work, both in your circumstances and in you. Think about what a builder does before the visible structure begins to rise. The work that happens below the surface, the excavation, the laying of a foundation that will support everything that comes after, is work that looks like nothing from the outside. If you do not know what is happening, you see a hole in the ground and time passing. If you know the plan, you see the beginning of a building whose integrity depends on the depth of what is being laid where no one can see it yet. I have been laying foundations. Not every foundation looks like progress to the person who is standing at the surface looking down. But the foundation is what makes the building possible, and I build foundations with extraordinary care because I intend for what is built on them to last, not for a season, but for a lifetime. What I have been building in this waiting season is not just the arrangement of external circumstances, though that work is also happening. I have been building something in you, something that could not have been built in comfort or in the immediate fulfillment of every desire. The depth that is forming in you through this season of waiting, the quality of trust that is being developed through the practice of continuing to believe when the evidence seems thin, the rootedness that comes from having to go deeper into me because the surface of pleasant circumstances was not available to sustain you. This is not suffering without purpose. This is formation. A tree that grows in a sheltered place with no wind has wide, shallow roots. A tree that grows where the wind is regular and sometimes strong has roots that go deep because the tree has learned to reach down for what it cannot get on the surface. When the storm comes, the deeply rooted tree stands when the shallow-rooted one does not. What I have been doing in this waiting season, in the periods of wind in your life, is inviting your roots to go deeper. Not to cause you pain, not because I have no concern for your comfort, but because I love you enough to build in you what will hold in the storms that are coming, what will sustain you in the days ahead when you will need a depth that could not have been available without this season. The discomfort of being stretched toward depth is real, and I do not dismiss it. But the strength you will carry out of this season is also real, and it will be exactly the kind of strength the road ahead requires. Now let me show you something else, because I know your tendency is to see only what has not yet arrived, while underestimating what has already been given. Look back carefully at the road you have already traveled, not to catalog the failures, not to rehearse the pain, but to notice the provision, the specific, detailed, particular ways I have shown up in your specific story, the times when you genuinely did not know how a particular situation would resolve, and then it resolved in a way that required more than coincidence to explain, the times when you were at the edge of your capacity and something or someone arrived at the exact right moment to give you what you needed to continue, the relationships that came into your life unexpectedly and changed the trajectory of your understanding of yourself and of me, the doors that opened when other doors closed, with a timing that only makes sense in retrospect, when you can see that the closed door was protecting you from something and positioning you for something better, the narrow escapes you almost did not notice, The times someone spoke a word to you that landed with unusual precision, that addressed something you had not told anyone, and that you recognized immediately as being from me. The moments of inexplicable peace in the middle of situations that should have produced nothing but anxiety. My provision has a signature. It tends to arrive in forms you did not plan, and at times you did not calculate. It tends to be more creative than your expectations, and better calibrated to your actual needs than what you thought you needed. When I provide, I do not simply give you the thing you asked for as you imagined it. I give you what I know you need, in the form I know will do the most good for the longest time. And when I look back over the story of your life with you, the provision is visible. It is real. It has come consistently, even in the seasons when it seemed to be absent, even in the times when you felt most alone and most unsupported. You have been more provided for than you have recognized, and the provision that is coming is greater than what you have experienced so far, not as a reward for correctly performing your faith, but as the next chapter of what I planned before you were born, arriving in its proper time, at the junction in your story where I always intended it to arrive. Now I want to speak about courage, not courage as a personality trait that some people are born with and others are not courage as something you either have or do not have as a fixed feature of your character, but courage as a choice, as a decision that is made in the middle of fear rather than in its absence. The transcription that brought you here spoke of valor, and I want to explore that word with you, because valor is not the absence of feeling the weight of what is difficult. Valor is what happens when you feel the full weight and move forward anyway. It is the decision to move in the direction I am calling you, in spite of the fear that suggests moving is unsafe. It is the refusal to give fear the final vote in the decisions that shape your life. It is the choice to continue to trust when the evidence seems to suggest that trust is unwise, when the silence has been long and the visible signs have been few, and the voice of reasonable caution says to protect yourself by pulling back, by expecting less, by closing off the tender places that have been exposed by hope. By that definition, you have already been courageous. More courageous than you have given yourself credit for, and more consistently so than you tend to remember when you are assessing whether you have what it takes. Think about the times you have continued to pray when it felt like nothing was happening. That was courage. You did not know for certain that the prayers were reaching anywhere. You had no felt confirmation. You prayed anyway. Think about the times you chose the harder right thing over the easier wrong thing, even when the wrong thing was available and attractive, and the right thing required real cost. The cost you paid in those moments was real. The right thing was not the easy thing. You chose it anyway. Think about the times you stayed when leaving would have been easier, when you continued to invest in something that was requiring more than it was giving, when you continued to extend goodwill toward someone who was not extending it back because you believed I had placed you there with a purpose. That required courage. Think about the times you said yes to something you felt called to when every voice of practical reasoning said the odds were against you, when common sense and emotional caution and the counsel of people who care about you all pointed in the direction of protecting yourself rather than risking yourself. You risked yourself anyway. You have a history of courage. It may not have looked dramatic. It may not have produced the results you hoped for by the timing you expected, but the courage was real, and it was noticed by me, and it has been building something in your character that is preparing you for the season ahead. Courage used, courage practiced, courage chosen, again and again in the specific circumstances of your actual life, becomes the settled capacity to face difficulty without being destroyed by it. It becomes the thing that holds when the pressure increases, And the pressure in the season ahead will test you in new ways. The new tests will require a depth of the same courage you have already been developing. You are not being asked to produce something you do not have. You are being asked to bring what you have already built, deepened by what is formed in this season, into a new set of circumstances. I want to say something directly about appreciation, about what it means to be appreciated, because I know this is a place where your heart has sometimes ached quietly without letting the ache be fully seen. There have been seasons where your faithfulness has gone unremarked, where your effort has been invisible to the people who most benefit from it, where you have given consistently and generously and received little recognition in return. You have carried responsibilities that no one acknowledged and borne burdens that no one helped you with, and you have done it without complaint in most cases, because you told yourself it was the right thing to do, and you did not want to be the kind of person who required acknowledgement for doing what needed to be done. This is a real pain, not a weakness, not evidence of a vanity that needs to be corrected. A real, legitimate human need for acknowledgement, for the experience of being seen in what you contribute. The need to have your faithfulness noticed. The need to have someone say, "I see what you are doing. I see what it costs you. I see you." That need is not something you need to overcome or transcend. It is part of how I made you, because connection and recognition are built into the design of human beings who are created for relationship, created to matter to one another, created to be seen and known, not only by me, but by the community of human hearts around them. And so I want to be very clear. I see it. Every act of service that went unrecognized by human eyes was fully recognized by mine. Every investment of time or care or attention that returned nothing visible in the human economy of relationship was noted in my accounting. Every hour of effort that went unacknowledged by the people it benefited. Every sacrifice you made quietly, because it was the right thing and not because it would be rewarded. Every time you chose to do the good thing without the guarantee of being seen doing it. Nothing you have given in faithfulness has gone unnoticed. Nothing you have done out of genuine love, even when it was received without thanks, even when it was taken for granted or even turned against you, went unrewarded in the realm that matters most. I am the one who sees in secret and the one who rewards what is done in secret. The reward is not merely deferred to some distant future accounting. It is already active in your life in ways you may not have fully recognized. The formation of character that has happened through giving without receiving is itself a reward, because it has made you into the kind of person who gives because it is right rather than because it is profitable. And that quality of character is more valuable than any external recognition you might have received along the way. The capacity for generosity that grows when generosity is not rewarded with visible returns is a deeper capacity than the generosity that flows easily when giving is applauded, and the rewarding of what you have invested in faithfulness is also part of what is coming toward you in this next season, in forms that will be tangible and real and satisfying to a part of you that has been patient for a long time. Tenderness is the next truth I need you to receive. What it means that the God who spoke the universe into existence is also the God who holds each of his children with extraordinary gentleness. I know there have been moments when I have seemed far away, when the image of a distant, demanding, impossible to please authority has crowded out the truth of who I actually am. I know because I have felt the effect of that false image in your heart, in the flinching that happens when you approach me in prayer, in the hesitation to bring me the small, ordinary things because you are not sure they are worth bringing. in the sense that you are interrupting something more important than yourself when you come to me with the routine concerns of your daily life. Let me correct that image completely and permanently if I can. I am not far away. I have never been far away. The distance you sometimes feel between us is not a distance I have placed there, not a consequence of your failure to reach a required level of spiritual development, not a sign that you are not doing enough to maintain my attention. The distance is a feeling, and feelings of distance are almost always produced not by actual separation, but by the accumulated effect of busyness, of not pausing to receive what I am continually extending toward you. I am here, closer than your next breath, more present in this moment than any physical sensation your body can register, and my presence is not neutral or impersonal. It is warm. It is specifically interested in you. It is engaged with the particular texture of your particular life in the particular season you are navigating. I am more interested in the details of your daily life than the formal, ceremonial version of our relationship that you sometimes default to. Come to me about the small things. Come to me with the full mess of your ordinary life, not just the spiritual emergencies and the things large enough to feel worth bringing to a God. The conversation that went poorly and left you unsettled. The question you cannot resolve about a relationship that matters to you. The decision you are trying to make that feels too small to pray about, but that is nagging at you because you sense it matters more than it appears. The frustration with yourself that you have been carrying around this week because of something that did not go the way you meant for it to go. The longing you have for something you have not named to anyone because it feels too specific, too personal, too revealing of what you actually want and how much you actually want it. Bring all of it. I am not bored by the ordinary details of your life. I am not waiting for you to get to the point or to elevate your concerns to a level I consider worth engaging with. Every detail of your life falls within the scope of what I am interested in and concerned with, because every detail of your life is part of the life I gave you, and you matter to me completely, not partially, not in the significant parts only, but completely. Tenderness is not weakness. My tenderness toward you is the natural expression of a love so deep and a care so comprehensive that every element of your experience falls within the scope of what I am concerned with on your behalf. And tenderness in a father does not mean treating a child as fragile or incapable. It means paying full attention. It means meeting the child exactly where the child is, not where you think they should be, not where you wish they were, but where they actually are, with what they actually need in that actual moment. I meet you exactly where you are, not disappointed by where you are, not impatient for you to be further along, present, attentive, tender, engaged. There is a word I want to speak over you now with all the authority I have. A word about what is coming, about the direction in which your life is moving when you see it from where I stand, rather than from where you stand. From where you stand, you see the immediate obstacles, the unresolved situations, the things that have not yet become clear, the answers you are still waiting for. From where I stand, I see the full arc of your story, and it is not a story that ends in disappointment. It is not a story that goes on indefinitely in the same difficult season without breakthrough or change. It is a story that is moving towards something I have prepared, something that will confirm what you have trusted me for in the seasons of waiting, something that will demonstrate with unmistakable clarity that I was working in the times when it seemed like nothing was happening. I am bringing something toward you, something specific, designed for the particular life you are living, and the particular needs you have and the particular calling I have placed on your life. Something that will make the waiting make sense when you see it. Something that will show you why the formation was necessary, why the depth of character I was building in you was required for what is coming, why the patience you were stretched to in this season was not punishment, but preparation for the person the next chapter of your story needs you to be. The thing I am bringing is not held up. It is not lost or forgotten or delayed indefinitely. It is on its way with the precision of everything I do, arriving at the exact moment when what is needed for it to be received well is in place, and more of what is needed is in place now than was in place at the beginning of this waiting season. You are more prepared than you were. The character that has been formed in you through this time is not incidental to what is coming. It is essential to it. Trust the road, even when it is not yet showing you the destination. Trust the road because I built it, and I built it knowing exactly where I needed it to go and exactly what kind of traveler I had in mind when I built it. The road does not go nowhere. It goes somewhere worth everything it costs to travel it, and you will arrive. Here is what I need you to understand about my appreciation for you specifically. Not my love in the abstract, not my general goodwill toward humanity, but my specific, targeted, personal appreciation for the person you are. I appreciate who you are, not who you might become, not who you are when you are performing at your best. The person you are right now, today, in this season, with everything that has happened and everything that is not yet resolved, the choices you have made that you are proud of and the ones you are not, the ways you have grown and the ways you are still growing. I appreciate this person. I value this person. I am glad this specific person exists because the world is different because of who you are in it, and not only in the ways that are visible, not only in the impact you can measure or the contribution others can see. You have changed things simply by being who you are, by carrying the particular quality of your presence into the spaces you inhabit, by the specific way you see things and respond to things and care about things that is uniquely yours. There is a home I am preparing within this relationship, not a house of stone or wood, a home in the deepest sense, the sense of a place where you belong completely, where nothing about you is unwelcome or wrong or out of place, where the person you are is exactly the person who is invited to be present. I am that home for you. In the architecture of my love, every part of you fits. The parts you are proud of fit. The parts you are still working on fit. The parts you are uncertain about fit. The questions fit. The doubts fit. The longings and the failures and the quiet joys and the stubborn hopes that you have not been able to fully let go of, even in the seasons when holding on to them felt foolish. All of it fits within the home I am for you. You do not have to present only the acceptable parts of yourself when you come to me. You do not have to clean yourself up before entering. I know you in the unclean state, and I invite you in exactly as you are, every time. The door of my presence is not a door that opens only when you have prepared properly. It is a door that stands open before you arrive and remains open after you leave. And what is on the other side of it is not judgment, but a love so complete that it has room for everything you bring with you. What the days ahead ask of you is worth addressing directly. Not because my love is conditional on your compliance, but because the fullness of what is possible in the life I am working in, you requires your participation in specific ways I am asking you to receive. This sounds simple, and it is the hardest thing I ask, because receiving requires a kind of openness that can feel terrifyingly vulnerable, especially when you have learned through experience that open hands get hurt. The habit of earning, of working for approval, of demonstrating worth through performance runs very deep. The invitation to simply receive my love, my care, my provision, my appreciation of who you are, without having to do anything to earn it or maintain it, cuts against that deep grain. But it is the invitation I extend to you today, specifically. Receive. Let what I am saying land in you. Let it go deeper than the level of intellectual acknowledgement and reach the level of belief that actually changes the way you feel about yourself and the way you move through your life. I am asking you to trust the road for a little longer. I know you are tired of the uncertainty. I know the waiting has been longer than you anticipated. I know there are days when trust feels more like an act of will than a natural response to clear evidence. Do it anyway. Not because I'm asking for blind credulity, not because the evidence is absent, but because the track record is there if you will look at it. I have not let you go. I have not failed in my faithfulness. The provision has arrived. The protection has held. The road has not run out beneath your feet, even when it felt like it might. Keep trusting. The third invitation is this: be gentle with yourself. Not to excuse failure or avoid accountability, but to apply to your own soul the same tenderness that I apply to it. Hold your own imperfection with the same understanding and patience that you would extend to someone you love who is struggling. You are harder on yourself than I am on you, and this asymmetry is not faithful to the truth of how I see you. When I look at your stumbles, I do not see evidence of your fundamental insufficiency. I see a person learning, a person who has not yet fully arrived but who is moving, and the moving matters more to me than the stumbling. The fourth invitation, and perhaps the most practical: look for me in the ordinary. Not just in the moments of spiritual elevation, not just in the crises when you have nowhere else to turn, but in the quiet, ordinary days where I am also present, also engaged, also working, also enjoying the person I made you to be. Notice me in the small things. The moment of unexpected peace in the middle of a difficult day, the kindness that arrived from an unexpected direction, the thought that came to you with a quality of clarity that felt like it came from somewhere deeper than your own reasoning, the door that opened quietly in a situation where you had stopped looking for doors. I am in all of it. All of it. Now, let me address something that often goes unspoken, something that lives in the background of many lives as a quiet, persistent ache without a name. It is the ache of not knowing whether what you are carrying matters, whether the faithfulness that has cost you real things has made any real difference, whether the investment of yourself into things that are good and true and worth investing in has produced anything that will last. This is a different kind of doubt from the doubt about whether I exist or whether I care. It is the doubt about whether your particular life, with its particular contributions and particular choices, has weight. Whether it counts for something in the larger accounting. I want to address this directly, with precision. Your life has weight. The specific choices you have made, the specific faithfulness you have exercised, the specific love you have extended in the directions I have called you to extend it. These things are producing effects that you cannot fully see from your current vantage point. The effects of a faithful life are not always immediately visible in the way that the effects of a dramatic action are immediately visible. They are often slow, often subtle, often working in the hidden places of other people's interior lives in ways that will not surface visibly for years, but they are real. Permanence is one of the properties of what is done in obedience and love. It does not evaporate. It does not dissipate back into the atmosphere. It takes root. Think about the conversations you have had over the years that you no longer remember in detail, but that planted something in someone else that is still growing. Think about the specific ways you have shown up for particular people in particular moments without knowing that your presence at that moment was the precise thing they needed to continue. Think about the prayers you have prayed for people that have been working in their lives without any visible signal to you that the prayers were reaching anything or anyone. The impact of a faithful life spreads in concentric circles from the person who lives it, and most of those circles extend beyond the range of what the person can see. You are not seeing the full picture of what your life has done and is doing. No one does, but I see all of it, and I want to tell you, it is more than you think. It is more than you would believe if I tried to show you the complete picture right now. There is something I want to say about the way that love transforms. Not as a theory, but as a lived reality that you have been both the source and the recipient of, sometimes without recognizing either role clearly. When love arrives in a human life, it does not simply make that life more pleasant. It changes the architecture of how the person experiences everything. Love, real and genuine love, has a way of expanding the interior space of a person, making room for things that could not fit before. It rearranges the furniture of the soul. It opens windows that were closed. It lets light into rooms that had been dark for so long that the person had begun to accept the darkness as the natural condition rather than recognizing it as the absence of something that could be restored. This is what my love does when you let it in. Not the concept of my love, not the theological acknowledgement that I love, but the actual living reality of my love, landing in the deepest parts of who you are and doing what love does. The courage I'm speaking about, the valor the transcription refers to, the quality that allows a person to walk forward in spite of everything that argues against forward movement. This is not a standalone capacity that you generate independently. It is a fruit. It grows from something, and what it grows from is love that is secure. When you know, really know, not just believe as a concept, but experience as a reality, that you are loved with a love that does not run out, that does not withdraw when you stumble, that does not require your performance to maintain itself, something in you relaxes into a courage that was not available before. The courage that comes from love is different from the courage that comes from willpower or determination. Willpower can be exhausted. Determination can crack under sustained pressure. But the courage that comes from the settled knowledge of love has a renewable source. It can be depleted and it will be refilled, because the source is not in you. The source is in the love that holds you. You need to know this about the specific battles you are facing right now, not the vague general battles of a spiritual life, but the particular specific named battles that are present in your life in this season. The relationship that is requiring more than your natural capacity to give. The situation at work or in your finances or in your health or in the life of someone you love that is demanding a version of you that is stretched past your comfortable limits. The inner battle, the one that has no external opponent but that is fought in the territory of your own mind and heart and history. The battle against the voices that tell you things about yourself that you are trying not to believe, but that you are not yet fully free from believing. For every specific battle you are in, I have specific coverage. Not general divine concern, but targeted, active, personally directed engagement with your particular situation. I am not observing from a distance while you manage it. I am in it with you. My strength is available in the exact places where yours gives out. My wisdom is accessible at the exact junctures where your own discernment reaches its limits. My peace, the kind that passes understanding, is available in the exact moments when no external argument can calm the anxiety that threatens to take over. You are not facing any of this alone, and you never have been, even in the seasons when you felt most alone. Restoration is a word I have been holding in my heart for you throughout this conversation, and I do not want to leave without addressing it directly. There are things in your life that have been broken. Some of those things were broken by other people's choices that were made without your consent and at real cost to you. Some were broken by your own choices, made in moments of weakness or confusion or fear, and the cost of those choices has been real, and the repair has not been as complete as you hoped it would be by now. Some were broken by the ordinary attrition of a difficult world, not by any one dramatic event, but by the accumulating weight of disappointment and delay, and the specific kind of weariness that comes from carrying hard things for a long time. I want you to know that I am in the business of restoration, not in the sense of returning everything to exactly how it was before it was broken, because not everything needs to go back to what it was. Sometimes what breaks needed to break so that what replaces it can be built from better materials, on a sounder foundation, with a design that serves the life you are actually living, rather than the life you were living when the original structure was put in place. Restoration in my hands is not always reconstruction. Sometimes it is reimagining. Sometimes it is building something new in the cleared space that the broken thing left behind. What I am doing in the areas of your life that feel most incomplete and unresolved is not abandonment. I am not walking away from the situation and leaving you to manage the incompleteness alone. I am working in it, actively, with the patience and the long view of someone who sees clearly how it is supposed to come together and who is not troubled by the current state of incompletion, because I can see what the completed version looks like, and I know it is coming. The specific things you have prayed about and not yet seen move. I have not forgotten them. I have not filed them in a category of lower priority. They are fully present to me, and I am fully engaged with them. The timing of their resolution is not random or arbitrary. It is calibrated to what needs to be in place for the resolution to be genuinely good, genuinely lasting, genuinely the answer, and not just the quick fix that would relieve the immediate pressure, but leave the underlying situation unchanged. Wait for the genuine good. I know that asking you to wait is asking for something that has already been costly in this season, but the genuine good that is coming is worth the additional wait, not because suffering is virtuous for its own sake, because the foundation that the wait has been laying in you and in your circumstances is what makes the genuine good possible rather than merely probable. I want to close by coming back to the beginning, to what I said when I first spoke to you today. You are valued, not for what you produce, not for what you perform, not for the version of yourself that is most impressive or most put together or most spiritually mature. You are valued as you are, in this exact moment, in this exact state, carrying this exact mix of faith and doubt, strength and weariness, hope and the honest acknowledgement that hoping has sometimes been costly. The way I appreciate you isn't complicated. I appreciate you because you are mine, because I made you, because the specific person you are is a person I chose to bring into existence with the full knowledge of who you would be. I appreciate the way you love, even imperfectly. I appreciate the way you keep trying, even inconsistently. I appreciate the way you come back again and again, even after the times you have walked away. I appreciate your heart, the tender center of it that you guard so carefully, because the world has not always been gentle with it. I appreciate your faith, including the faith that is mixed with questions and uncertainty, because that kind of faith, the kind that continues in the middle of not having all the answers, is more genuine and more costly and more meaningful than the easy faith of comfortable circumstances. You matter. You have always mattered. You will always matter. Nothing about your past changes this. Nothing about your future will change it. Nothing about the gap between who you are and who you sense you should be changes it. The worth I assign to you is fixed and permanent and entirely independent of anything you have done or failed to do. Go forward from this conversation knowing that, not as a performance, not as a forced positivity that sets up the next disappointment, as a settled truth that you hold in the deepest part of you and return to when everything else seems uncertain. You are valued. You are seen, you are loved. And the one who says so is not going anywhere. The specific texture of what it means to live each day from this foundation, from the settled knowledge of your worth, rather than constantly working to establish or re-establish it, is worth exploring in practical terms. Because knowing something and living from it as a constant reality are very different things. You can hold the truth in your mind and still operate from a different place in your daily life, still make choices driven by the need to earn approval rather than from the freedom of knowing approval is already given. The shift from earning to receiving is one of the most significant transformations that can happen in a human life. It is not achieved all at once. It is built slowly through many encounters with the truth, many moments when the old pattern of earning and proving runs its course and you recognize it and choose differently, many small daily decisions to rest in the given love rather than straining toward the earned love. The transformation is gradual, and that is fine. I am patient with the gradual. I do not require you to have arrived at this truth completely and permanently in order to be loved fully and completely. My love does not wait for you to believe it. It precedes your belief and persists through your doubt and endures through every moment when you live as though the approval you have already been given needs to be secured again. But the life available to you on the other side of this transformation, the life that becomes possible when you genuinely stop straining and start receiving, is a life of a different quality than what you have been living. Not a life without difficulty. Not a life without seasons of testing or periods of uncertainty, but a life in which the difficulty is carried differently, in which the uncertainty is held differently, in which the testing does not have the power to destabilize the foundation, because the foundation is not your circumstances or your performance or your sense of your own consistency. The foundation is me, and I don't shake. When you live from that foundation, the courage I have been speaking about becomes more natural and less effortful. Not because the things that require courage become less frightening, because the thing that makes courage possible, the knowledge that you are held regardless of the outcome, becomes more deeply real. Courage that comes from knowing you are loved unconditionally is a different animal from courage that comes from the desperate need to prove yourself through the outcome. Desperate courage is exhausting and fragile. Loved courage is costly but sustainable. Before we go further, there are specific things that are true about your future that need to be said, because sometimes the weight of the present is heavy enough that the future can feel more like a threat than a promise, and that picture needs to be corrected. The future I have prepared for you is not a punishment dressed up as a promise. It is not a series of increasingly difficult lessons designed to test whether you can endure enough suffering to qualify for something good. The future I have prepared is good, genuinely, specifically, particularly good for you. shaped around the person you are and the life you have been living, and the things you have been trusting me for in the seasons of waiting. Not a vague spiritual upgrade, not just an improvement in circumstances. Something that will feel, when it arrives, like a confirmation of what I have been saying, like the visible evidence of what I was working on during the silent seasons. You will see it, not someday in a vague, unlimited future, but in a real and specific time frame, in your actual life, in circumstances that are tangible and touchable and not just spiritually perceived. I do not deal only in invisible realities. I work in the visible world, in the material of your daily experience, and what I am bringing into your daily experience is not only the subtle inner transformation of a deepening faith, but the tangible, concrete, real-world confirmation that I was working the whole time. The courage to believe this, to hold it as a real possibility for your specific future rather than a generic spiritual principle, is part of what I am asking from you in this season. Not certainty, not the complete absence of doubt, just the willingness to keep the door open to the possibility that I meant what I said, that what I have promised for your life is real and specific and coming, and that the day when you will see it is already on its way toward you. Even as you listen to these words, there is a quality of life available to you on this road that I want you to anticipate rather than fear. The path ahead is not primarily a gauntlet. It is not mostly obstacles with occasional respite. It is a journey with a guide who knows every stone on the road, who goes before you into each new section of terrain, who has provisions waiting at each point where you will need them, who is not surprised by any of the difficult sections because every difficult section was accounted for in the planning of the road. That is not a journey to fear. That is a journey to take with confidence, even on the days when confidence requires effort. The same God who carved the oceans and set the stars in their courses and holds the galaxies in the palm of his hand is the God who knows your name, who knows the specific ache you have been carrying in this season, who has been walking with you through every ordinary and extraordinary day of your life, and who sees the specific good that is coming towards you with the clarity of the one who sent it. The scale of who I am and the intimacy of how I engage with you are not in conflict. The God who is vast enough to hold all of creation is the same God who is personal enough to care about what happens in the private corners of your daily life. Both are true, both are real, and both are for you. Let me do something before we close. Let me speak a specific declaration over your life, not as a formula or an incantation, but as a genuine word from the one who has authority to speak over the life I created. The need to earn my love, that burden is lifted from you today. The love is already given. It was given before you began, and it will not be withdrawn when you end. You do not have to work for what has already been given freely. The lie that your failures define you, that lie has no authority over your life anymore. Your failures are events in your story, not the substance of your identity. Your identity is mine to define, and I have defined it as mine, beloved, chosen, kept. The weight of carrying the gap between who you are and who you sense you should be, lay that down. That gap is what the journey is for. You are not meant to have arrived yet. You are meant to be on the road, and on the road is exactly where you are, and on the road is exactly where I am present, walking beside you. Receive this next truth fully. The anxiety that says the things you are waiting for are not coming is wrong. They are coming. The preparation is real. The work is real. The provision is real. The outcome is secured by my faithfulness and not contingent on yours. Hold this final release carefully. The belief that your specific life, with its specific history and its specific imperfections and its specific unresolved questions, is somehow less than what I intended. That belief is false. This is the life I gave you. This is the road I built for your feet. Every part of it, including the parts that have been hardest and have cost the most, has been part of the formation of the person your purpose requires. Receive these releases, not as words you heard and then moved past, as realities that you take into the days ahead, that you return to when the old patterns try to reclaim their territory, that you hold like anchors when the current gets strong. You are valued, you are appreciated, you are loved, not for what you do, but for who you are. Not for who you will become, but for who you are right now. This is the truth that I am built on. This is the truth I am asking you to build on. Walk forward, courageously, tenderly, with the knowledge that the one who goes before you has already seen the road ahead and has found it good, not easy, not without cost or challenge or the places where forward movement requires everything you have, but good, worth traveling, worth the courage it costs. I am with you. I have always been with you. And I am not going anywhere, not now, not ever. Let me sit with you in the reality of your daily experience for a moment, because this conversation must not exist only in the elevated register of spiritual truth that is real, but sometimes hard to connect to the texture of an ordinary day. Let me speak to the ordinary day. The ordinary, difficult, specific Tuesday where everything feels like it weighs more than it should, where the gap between what you know is true and what you feel in your body and your heart seems like the widest gap in the world. On that Tuesday, I am still here. The truths I have spoken to you do not pause because the day is ordinary. They do not take breaks because you are tired or distracted or not feeling particularly spiritual. The love I have for you is not mood dependent. It does not vary based on the atmosphere of your interior life or the quality of your engagement with me in a given period. It is constant. It operates the same on your hardest days as on your best days, on the days you feel close to me as on the days you feel nothing, on the Tuesdays when prayer feels like talking to the ceiling and faith feels like a discipline rather than a delight, and the future seems more uncertain than promising. The truths still hold. I am still working. The road is still going somewhere. The provision is still coming. The formation is still happening. None of it is suspended because you are in a low season. If anything, the low seasons are when I am doing some of my most significant work, because the low seasons are when you are forced to trust what you know rather than what you feel, and the choice to trust, when feeling is absent, is among the deepest expressions of genuine faith there is. I see you on the Tuesdays. I see you in the ordinary moments that make up most of a life. I see the effort you put into the daily things that require showing up consistently without visible reward. I see the way you love the people who depend on you, even when loving them is costly and the cost is not acknowledged. I see the private decisions you make when no one is watching, and no one would know the difference between the right choice and the convenient one. I see all of it. And what I see is a person who is genuinely trying, genuinely caring, genuinely moving in the direction of what is good and true and right, even when it costs, and even when the return on the investment is not yet visible. That is the person I am speaking to today, not the idealized version, the real one. The one who shows up on Tuesdays, the one who prays even when the words feel thin, the one who keeps going even when going is hard, the the one who does the right thing without applause. That person is who I love, and that person is who I am, bringing into what comes next. Carry this. The value I have placed on your life is not a fragile thing. It is not something that shatters when dropped or deteriorates when ignored. It is solid. It is durable. It can sustain the weight of your doubt and the weight of your failure and the weight of the long, difficult seasons. It holds. And on the days when you need a reminder, when the weight of everything feels like it might finally be too much, come back to this. Come back to the voice that says, "You are mine. You are valued. You are loved." And nothing changes that. Nothing ever has. Nothing ever will. I want to say one more thing about courage, because I sense there is a specific step you have been standing at the edge of, hesitating, not because you do not know what I am asking, but because the asking has felt large and the cost of being wrong has felt larger. You know the step. You have been circling it for some time now. You have been coming close to taking it and then pulling back, because the what-ifs multiply when you stand at that edge, and the imagination of failure is vivid and immediate, while the imagination of what succeeds is harder to hold on to. Your hesitation deserves a direct response. The step is not a trap. I do not call people to the edge of their courage in order to watch them fall. Every invitation I extend is genuine and comes with the full commitment of my presence for the journey it requires. The courage to take the step is not the guarantee that everything will go smoothly on the other side of it. Life is not built that way, and I have not promised you that it is. But the courage to take the step is the beginning of the next chapter, and the next chapter is the one I have been preparing you for through this entire season of formation and waiting and root deepening. The risk that feels enormous from where you are standing looks different from where I stand, not because the risk is not real, but because I can see what is on the other side of it, and what is on the other side is worth the cost of the crossing. You have built the foundations. You have done the root work in this season. You have been formed by the specific challenges and waiting and faithfulness of this period in ways that you will only fully understand once you are on the other side of what is ahead. The person who takes the next step is more prepared than the person who has been standing at the edge. You are ready in ways you do not yet fully see. I am asking you to trust me enough to move, not to pretend the fear is not there. Not to manufacture a confidence you do not feel, but to move in spite of the fear, to take the next step in the direction I have been calling you, to let your obedience be the expression of the trust that you do have, even when the trust is mixed with everything else. That mixed faith, the faith that takes the step while trembling, is not inferior faith. It is the best kind. It is the kind that cost you something, the kind that required you to choose trust over the comfort of inaction, and that cost is what makes it beautiful and what makes it count. Take the step. I am already on the other side of it, and I will meet you there with everything you need for what comes next. You are valued. You are appreciated. You are tenderly loved and fiercely protected by the God who made you specifically and loves you completely. This is your foundation. Stand on it. Walk from it. Take every step of the road ahead from the solid ground of knowing who you are and who holds you. The road is good. The future is good. And I am good. Always and only good. Always and only for you. Always and only faithful to every word I have spoken over your life. There is one more thing I want to leave with you, pressed deep into the part of you that carries things that matter. Not a command, not a requirement, a gift, rest. Not the rest that comes after everything has been resolved, not the rest that requires circumstances to cooperate first, but the rest that is available to you right now, in the middle of what is unresolved, in the middle of the waiting and the uncertainty and the unanswered questions. The rest I am offering is the rest of trust, the release of the grip that has been holding the outcome tightly, the setting down of the need to manage and control and ensure the result. Not because the things you are holding tightly do not matter, they do, and your care for them is part of your love and not something I am asking you to abandon. But because the holding tightly has been exhausting you and the grip has been preventing you from receiving what I am trying to give you, because open hands receive and closed hands do not. Open your hands. Right now, wherever you are, in whatever configuration your actual physical hands are in, open them inward in the posture of receiving, and let the things you have been trying to carry all by yourself go into hands larger than yours. They are not being abandoned. They are being carried by someone whose capacity does not have a limit. Every concern, every unresolved situation, every relationship that weighs on you, every fear about the future, every regret about the past, give them to me. Not permanently and finally, as if you will never need to give them again, because you probably will need to give them again tomorrow. But right now, in this moment, let them go into my care and rest. This is my gift to you today, not the resolution of everything difficult, but the peace that is possible even before the resolution comes, the peace that I guard in the hearts of the ones who trust me. It is real, it is available, it is for you. Right now, exactly as you are, walk forward. Not with striving, but with trust. Not with performance, but with openness. Not with the heavy burden of proving your worth, but with the freedom of someone who knows their worth has already been settled, once and for all, by the one whose assessment is final and whose love does not end. When fear rises, remember the love. When doubt enters, remember the track record. When the gap between where you are and where you want to be feels discouraging, remember that the road is leading somewhere, and I built the road, and I know where it goes, and where it goes is good. I will be with you, every step, every day, in the moments that feel sacred and in the moments that feel ordinary, in the conversations that go well and in the ones that do not, in the seasons of visible breakthrough and in the seasons of quiet formation. I am not going anywhere. I have never been anywhere other than exactly here, with you, loving you, working in your life, seeing you with eyes that perceive your full worth and your full story and your full potential, and responding to all of it with the love that created you in the first place. You are mine. I am yours. Nothing changes that. Nothing can. What I have planned for you is good, and the good is coming, and you are going to see it. Hold on a little longer. The road is leading somewhere beautiful, and I will be with you every step of the way there. Amen. If this message reached something real in you, something that has been waiting to be touched by these words, share it with someone who needs to hear this today. There is someone in your life who is carrying the weight of feeling unseen, unvalued, unloved in the way they most need to be loved. You know who they are. Send this to them. And if this channel has been a source of encouragement in your life, subscribe and turn on notifications so that you never miss a message. Come back whenever you need to be reminded of what you are worth. Come back whenever the world has told you something different from what I have said today. The door is always open, and so am I.